We're counting down the 10 best used sailboats that deliver maximum value in 2026, boats that dodge today's famed tax and quietly outperform the hyped-up legends. From overlooked coastal cruisers to blue water tanks and liveaboard masterpieces, each entry on this list earns its spot by offering the same pedigree, safety, and comfort for a fraction of the sticker price. So, which smart money sailboats beat the market, and how much could you save? Let's dive in, starting with number 10. Skip the C&C racing legend and look at the Landfall 38, a boat built for comfort, not trophies. From 1979 to 1985, C&C quietly produced this solid fiberglass cruiser with a hull that rivals anything in its class for strength. Unlike the racer models that command a premium for their regatta history, the Landfall 38 was designed for sailors who care more about safe, easy days on the water than shaving seconds off a course. The wide companionway and low cockpit coamings make it a favorite among older sailors who want to avoid climbing or squeezing through tight spaces. Brokerage sales from 2024 to 2026 show median prices holding steady at $65,000 to $85,000 for clean, sail-away examples, boats that need no major work before casting off. Surveyors routinely note the thick layup and lack of core rot, while brokers admit the Landfall line is often overlooked because it does not wear the performance badge. That is the opening move for buyers who know value. You get C&C pedigree, proven construction, and a true cruising interior without paying the racer markup. Forget the wires, turnbuckles, and the $10,000 invoice that shows up every decade. The Freedom 30 and 32 skip all that with a carbon fiber mast that stands alone. No stays, no shrouds, no chain plates to leak. This is not a science experiment, it is a proven design from Gary Mull and Halsey Harrishoff, built from 1986 to 1994. Owner forums tell the same story. 20 years, no major mastwork, and no horror stories about catastrophic failures. The only real maintenance is a bearing at the mast base, usually good for a decade and a half, and often costing less than a new anchor. That means the Freedom avoids at least $8,000 to $12,000 in rigging bills over its life. Money that stays in your cruising fund instead of going to a rigger. For single-handers or anyone who does not want to wrestle with a spiderweb of wires, the unstayed mast means easier sail handling and less deck clutter. Shoal draft versions open up skinny water cruising, and comparable sales from 2024 to 2026 show clean, ready to sail. Examples trading between $50,000 and $70,000. In a market obsessed with brand names, the Freedom quietly delivers lifetime savings and peace of mind, all in a package that is as friendly to seniors as it is to your wallet. CS Yachts spent the late 1980s quietly building one of the sharpest deals in the used market, the CS-36 Merlin. Ignore the lack of hype. This is a Canadian-built, solid glass cruiser that is priced in the same bracket as a Catalina 36, but delivers a completely different experience on the water. Especially the models from 1987 to 1990 were assembled with a level of quality assurance that puts many mass-market cruisers to shame. Owner surveys and club race results from the last decade tell the story. The Merlin regularly posts faster PHR/F ratings than its American rivals, outpacing the Catalina by several boat lengths in real-world club racing. You are not just getting a stiffer hull and better hardware, you are getting a boat that actually wins on the course. Median prices for sail away. Examples from 2024 to 2026 settle between $60,000 and $80,000, with the solid glass hulls showing little to no core issues even after 30+ years. For buyers who want a boat that sails as well as it looks and do not want to pay for a logo, the CS-36 Merlin is the insider's pick to close out the coastal gem tier. Ted Hood's signature is stamped all over the Wauquiez Hood 38, a centerboard cruiser that proves design can outclass any brand tax. Built in France from 1982 to 1988, it delivers American-level scantlings in a European package, all without the Bristol or Little Harbor price tag. The hull is solid fiberglass, heavy enough for blue water but shaped for speed, and the centerboard drops draft from just under 5 feet to over 10 feet, opening up shallow anchorages and deep water passages alike. The Hood 38's ballast ratio sits at a reassuring 47%, with 11,000 pounds of lead keeping the 23,000-pound hull upright in heavy weather. Owners and surveyors alike note the absence of core rot or delamination, and decades-old examples still pass inspection with minimal fuss. The large aft cabin, a rarity at this size, turns long passages into something closer to comfort than endurance. Brokers tracking 2024 to 2026 sales report median prices between $90,000 and $120,000 for clean, ready-to-cruise boats, numbers that have stayed steady even as more famous names ride the roller coaster of influencer demand. Every Hood 38 comes with the designer's centerboard philosophy: variable draft, no compromise on safety, and a hull built to cross oceans. It is the kind of boat that lets buyers sidestep the custom yard premiums, delivering blue water capability at a production price. For those who value substance over logo, the Hood 38 is the market beater that quietly outclasses the legends it was designed to rival. Hinterholler's Niagara 35 stands out as the blue water sleeper that does not ask for a Pacific Seacraft-sized check. Built from 1978 through 1995, the Niagara earned its reputation for crossing oceans without drama, thanks to features most buyers only discover in surveyors' notes. The hull is thick, with an encapsulated keel, which means no keel bolts to worry about in the mid-Atlantic. The rudder is protected by a skeg, shielding it from the kind of damage that ends passages for less prepared boats. Surveyors in 2024 and 2025 report clean underbodies and low rates of rudder-bearing wear, a detail that keeps insurance underwriters happy and premiums within reach. Inside, the Encore layout offers a rare treat at this size: a dedicated workshop or office space, turning the Niagara into more than just a floating apartment. Owners who find Encore layouts from the golden era, from the late 1980s to the early 1990s, get a private owner's berth and a workbench, all without bumping into the galley every time they need a tool. Median prices for sail-away examples in 2026 land between $70,000 and $95,000, holding steady as buyers catch on to the value. For anyone looking for a serious offshore boat in a compact package, the Niagara 35 delivers the kind of construction and safety that usually comes with a much higher price tag. Moody's 376 is the antidote to the Hallberg-Rassy price spiral. Built in England from 1985 to 1990, it delivers the same center-cockpit security and passage-making comfort, but skips the Swedish prestige marker. The hull is solid fiberglass, no balsa and no core to rot, laid up thick enough to satisfy even the most skeptical surveyor. Owners and brokers alike call it built to last. The numbers back it up: a 40% ballast ratio, a skeg-hung rudder, and a displacement that stands up to heavy weather. What sets the 376 apart is not just the engineering, it's the way it treats the people on board. The center cockpit means you are always high, dry, and protected. Instead of ladders, you get proper stairs, easy on the knees, especially for anyone who is not looking to audition for Cirque du Soleil just to use the head at sea. The aft cabin is a true stateroom, not an afterthought, and the galley is laid out for real cooking underway. Median prices for a clean, ready-to-cruise Moody 376 from 2024 to 2026 land between $80,000 and $110,000. Meanwhile, a comparable Hallberg-Rassy 36 often lists for more than double that, despite similar specs on paper. The Moody's construction rivals Northern standards. Owners report decades without major hull or deck issues, and insurance underwriters have no qualms about approving policies on well-kept examples. For buyers who want to pocket the difference and still cross oceans in confidence, the Moody 376 is the market's best-kept secret in the blue water sleeper class. Tartan 3700 stands out as the pick for buyers who want modern reliability without falling into the Beneteau Oceanus hype cycle. Built from 2002 to 2012, this model combines the lines of a classic cruiser with the systems of a true 21st century yacht. Electrical panels are properly labeled, wiring looms are tidy and accessible, and the plumbing uses marine-grade PEX instead of brittle hoses or failing gate valves. Deck hardware is all high-spec, no mystery brand winches or leaky port lights, and the vacuum-infused decks mean fewer worries about soft spots or hidden rot. Surveyors in 2024 and 2025 consistently report clean moisture readings and minimal deferred maintenance on these hulls. Owners rarely face the surprise refit bills that plague older boats, and insurers look favorably on build dates after 2000. That is why the Tartan 3700 commands a higher sticker price. Median sales in 2026 land between $200,000 and $250,000. But the math is simple: pay more upfront, spend less on upgrades and repairs. Over a 5-year ownership period, the total cost often undercuts that of a cheaper older boat that needs a new electrical system or plumbing overhaul. For buyers who want to step aboard and go cruising, the Tartan 3700 is the value play that sidesteps the influencer-driven price swings and delivers peace of mind with every mile. Step onto an Endeavour 42, and the first thing you notice is not the woodwork or the upholstery, it is the sheer space. Built between 1980 and 1985, this 42-foot boat delivers a kind of volume that most boats in its price range cannot touch. With a median of $75,000 to $90,000 for a sail-away example, it is a liveaboard fortress that rivals the interior of much pricier Hunters or Catalinas, but with a build meant for the long haul. The hull weighs 36,000 pounds, giving it a displacement to length ratio that soaks up chop and calms the motion when the wind picks up. For anyone who has spent a night at anchor in a rolling bay, that stability is not just comfort, it is peace of mind. But the real secret is below deck. The Endeavour 42's engine room is a revelation: full standing headroom, clear sightlines to every major system, and enough space to swing a wrench without scraping your knuckles. Owners who handle their own maintenance, or who just want to avoid the contortions demanded by most production boats, know that this kind of access keeps service costs in check and resale values strong. Brokers tracking sales from 2024 to 2026 report that boats with clean engine rooms and up-to-date service records consistently fetch top dollar in the current market. Tankage is another quiet strength. With over 100 gallons of water and 80 gallons of fuel, the Endeavour 42 makes long-distance cruising a reality without constant marina stops. Add in a layout designed for real living, proper stairs, wide passages, and cabins that feel like actual rooms, and you have a boat that has earned its reputation as the market's best volume per dollar buy. For buyers who want comfort, serviceability, and blue water heft without the famed tax, the Endeavour 42 stands as the practical pick in the liveaboard class. For couples dreaming of blue water passages without the Armel price tag, the Whitby 42 and its Brewer 12.8 Evolution deliver a rare blend of comfort, safety, and mechanical sanity. Built from 1975 to 1987, these boats were designed so long-term cruising would not mean wrestling with oversized canvas or crawling through engine compartments on your elbows. The twin-mast sail plan divides the sail area into manageable pieces, so there are no more back-breaking mainsail hoists or oversized head sails. Owners in their 60s and 70s praise how reefing and trimming can be handled calmly and safely, even when the wind picks up. The load-splitting geometry means every sail is lighter, every maneuver less stressful, and fatigue does not pile up after a long watch. The real revelation comes when you step below decks and head aft. Instead of the usual shoehorned access, you get a true walk-through engine room with full standing headroom and removable panels on both sides. Every major system is within reach, from the alternator to the shaft seal, making routine maintenance a matter of minutes, not hours of contortion. Mechanics and do-it-yourself. Owners call this feature a game changer, and it is a major reason these boats hold their value. Surveyors from 2024 to 2026 consistently note clean service histories and minimal deferred maintenance, which translates to fewer surprises during ownership. Between the Whitby and the Brewer, median prices for sail-away, examples in 2026, fall between $100,000 and $140,000. That is less than half the cost of an Armel or a Holberg Rassi of similar size and capability. For buyers who want a boat that is truly couple-friendly, easy to handle, easy to maintain, and proven across oceans, the Whitby 42 and the Brewer 12.8 stand as the ultimate market beaters for comfort and practicality. Pearson's 424 stands at the top for a reason. It is the only boat in this market that delivers nearly every essential blue water feature of an Island Packet 40 at a price that leaves $100,000 in your cruising fund. Built from 1976 to 1980, the 424's hull is a fortress of solid fiberglass, with surveyors routinely measuring more than 1 inch of laminate at the turn of the bilge. That is not just a number, it is a shield. 3 recent survey excerpts from 2024 to 2026 confirm no core, no rot, and a hull thickness that matches or exceeds the legends. The encapsulated ballast means 0 keel bolts to inspect, worry over, or replace. Every Pearson 424 came from the factory with the option for a split rig, a true ketch setup that divides sail area, making every maneuver lighter and less taxing. For older sailors, or anyone who has done a midnight reef in a squall, that is the difference between confidence and fatigue. The skeg hung rudder is not just a talking point. It is insurance against the kind of damage that ends passages for spade rudder boats. And the separate shower stall is not a luxury. It is a promise that this boat was designed for living aboard, not just surviving offshore. Here is the math that matters. Clean, sail away. Pearson 424s have sold for $65,000, $82,000, and $88,000 in the past 2 years. The median sits comfortably between $60,000 and $90,000. Meanwhile, the Island Packet 40, built on the same blue water premise, clings to a $200,000 sticker even as the market softens. That is a 70% savings for 95% of the capability. Total cost of ownership over 3 years, including a $30,000 refit and $6,000 a year in insurance and slip fees, still leaves you nearly $100,000 ahead. The valuation playbook is simple. Start with the hull survey. Show the more than 1 inch laminate, the clean encapsulated keel, and the absence of keel bolts. Present 3 recent comps, a $75,000 median, and make your offer conditional on insurance approval. Move fast. These boats sell quickly when priced right, and the secret is out among buyers who care about hull, not hype. For anyone chasing the real value in 2026, the Pearson 424 is the definitive market beater, a boat that lets you pocket the fame tax and sail away on your own terms. Across all 10 market beaters, one truth stands out. True value in used sailboats is not about the badge, it's in the bones. The real edge comes from knowing when engineering trumps hype, and from knowing where to find overlooked quality. Today, the smart buyer outmaneuvers the crowd, turning knowledge into savings and freedom. Which sleeper would you trust offshore? Drop your pick in the comments.